All right. So, welcome to episode 3 of Beyond the Podium. I am here with the D5 discus state champion, Jackson Werling. Jackson, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing great. I'm really excited to have you on. So, one of the things I'm really excited about this interview with you is I get to learn a little bit more myself. So, myself being more of a distance guy, I get to learn more about throwing in the world of throwing from you. So, before we get into all of that, just tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me where you go to school. Tell me all those things. What grade you're going into. All that fun thing. Tell me about you.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be a junior at Allen East High School. I compete in shot put and discus. I also play football. So yeah,
Okay, what do you, so discus is your prime, would you consider that you have a primary disc shot? What to you
yeah,
is like your primary thing?
disc is definitely my primary, and then shot is my secondary.
Okay, what position you play in football?
I play quarterback and punter.
Okay. Talk to me about the difference between the football season and track season. So like there's a lot of athletes who do, whether it's cross and track or then football and track. Talk to me about the differences between like the team aspect of cross country, or excuse me, of track versus like a football team.
Yeah, so definitely. I mean, a football team, you're right there together. You're practicing. You're going against each other literally at like for I don't know 3 months, 4 months of the year. More track. I mean, the team aspect's still there. It's just not as much because you're more individualized into your own events. So I really like football because you're just together. You're going against each other, but you're also friends at the end of the day.
What got you introduced into track? Did you just start in seventh grade in junior high and then you just kind of picked it up? What got you interested in then track and then eventually to disc?
Yeah. So well, my dad he competed at Tiffin University, so he won a shot put state championship when he was in high school. But really, I've heard about it my whole life, kind of. But I was a baseball player, so I went and watched a relay team win the state title. I think it was my seventh grade year, into seventh grade year, and it was either that day or the day after. I went home and just started practicing, and I kind of fell in love with it ever since. I mean, Jesse Owens is a great place, and the energy there was just crazy. So something I wanted to be able to compete in, but I didn't think competing in it this early would be something that would happen.
So you went on to then win the state championship. Talk to me about what that feeling was like, right? When you're waiting for other people to throw and then you hit your mark, and talk to me about the difference, because the difference, especially between field events and like running events, right when it
Hmm.
happens, like you can see who crosses the line first, but in disc you have the throws and then you have finals and prelims. Talk to me just about what that the nerves are like, especially going between throws and you see this guy throw and then you throw.
Yeah, so definitely that was a crazy competition. So I would say I started off with my first two throws. They were pretty rough. I was gonna be sitting seventh going into finals until that third round. I just kind of calmed down, I guess. I kind of flattened out my release and just got that one out there. But leading up to that, I was a nervous wreck. I mean, people were throwing some pretty good marks, and I was like, well, I got to go now. So yeah, really just that third round when I hit that mark, then everything else just kind of smoothed out, and I threw some mid 180s after that.
Okay, so I'm gonna need you to explain this a little bit more for me. When you say you kind of flattened it out, what does that mean? Like,
So
when you're saying you're flattening it out, what does that mean?
yeah, so my first two, I was really catching, like, I was getting under the discus, so I was going really high in the air. So like
Okay,
it didn't have a really good flight pattern. And then the
okay,
third one, I just kind of flattened out the whole time. So out of the back in the first two, I was kind of dropping it and it was going up and then coming right down at the finish. But the third one, I just kept it smooth and flat throughout the whole time. And then that's what really led to it going that far.
gotcha. Okay, you mentioned when you were seventh grade, you watched some relay teams. Is that something that you would want to do in the future? Is that something that you really want to get into, kind of to expand your game in a way?
I mean, if I get the opportunity, I definitely would. I mean, but for it's kind of hard because so during like a normal track meet, the 4x1's right in the middle of all the throwing events, so that
Yep.
would be a little hard. But I mean, I think I can run for sure.
Yeah, awesome. What was the moment that you realized? So going back to state. What was the moment that you realized, crap, I just won state? Like what was that moment like? When did you that mark finally hit that it was like, okay, like I feel like I did this.
Well, so I mean, third round, like after I seen the mark pop up on the board, I was pretty excited, but I knew obviously it wasn't over. And then I don't even like it's like just started kind of to settle in because like it was such like I won state and then I took 2 weeks and I went to New Balance. So it's kind of just like everything was so crazy. But yeah, I think just like getting on that podium and hearing your name is kind of crazy at the top.
Standing
So
at the
yeah,
top, being able to have that gold
yeah,
medal.
definitely.
What was New Balance experience like? I've heard a lot of good things about New Balance, and talk to me about that. You finally got over 200. Talk to me about what that was like when you saw that. Like what was it like for New Balance?
Yeah, so New Balance was great. I love competing there. They run it really well. They have a really good throws area. So I mean, it was good. We got there. I think there was about 3 flights, so, I mean, you're seeing some of the best discus throwers in the nation, so, I think I was about 4th going into finals. I threw actually on my first throw so go back to warm-ups, I really had the best warm-ups of my life, so I was kinda like, "Well, maybe, we can make this 200 happen today." So my first throw, I think it was 196, and so that really gave me some confidence. That would've been a 4-foot PR. So that moved me into 5th, I believe, going into the finals, and then that first round of finals was when I threw that 202 to go into 2nd. And then I just stayed there throughout the rest of the competition. So it was great. I really like competing there. Just it's all right there. They have an announcer, so that really makes it cool because you don't see many track throwing events having like an announcer announcing
Yeah.
every round. So that's really cool.
Yeah. Who is for you? Who is someone in your life that you like a coach or mentor, or someone that has really, really pushed you and allowed you to succeed that you wouldn't be able to do without them?
Yeah, I mean, definitely my dad. I mean, he's the reason like I joined track and field or really even heard about it because like I said, like baseball was everything. But yeah, he's always really been there. He always comes out to practice with me. He's always helping me. Just the tips I can get from him. I mean, he threw in college and he won state, so it's just kind of being able just to relate back to when he was in high school, and he can just help me out with so many different situations.
When you're talking about like your relationship with your dad and you're able to kind of follow in his footsteps in a way, what has that done for your relationship with him? How has that brought you closer in a way?
Yeah, it's definitely made it stronger. I mean, it's brought I honestly my whole family like they all like they loved it when my dad was competing. So even my grandma and grandpa like they're like very excited. I mean, they're coming to everything. I mean, they came out to New Balance with us, so it's kind of just like a whole family thing. Like they watched them compete back in the day, so now like us just bringing it back, and then my brother and sister. It's kind of just brought the whole family back together.
Gotcha. That's amazing. That's one of my
Yeah,
favorite things
definitely.
about sports in general. Talk to me a little bit about the baseball thing. So I feel like there's this trend happening where a lot of kids are like, "Hey," you have a lot of baseball kids really starting to get into track. They find a niche that they like. They find an event that they like, and they start moving over. Because you hear a lot of track kids who are like, "I love baseball growing up. I love baseball," and then somehow they switch to track. Talk to me about what your transition was like for that.
Yeah, so I was a pitcher, so I really loved that. I mean, I'm not really like I'm pretty skinny, so I was like, well, if I join track, I might have to sprint or whatever. But I really just kind of it was kind of smooth because I kind of 8th grade year I did baseball and track. I just wanted to see how it was.
Hmm.
So that went well, but I just knew if I really wanted to take my track talents to the next level, I wasn't gonna be able to do baseball, which was kind of hard to let go because that was my love for sports, but it's been good ever since. I'm definitely glad I made the decision to join track, and it's just been great ever since.
Okay, so talk to me about what like a week of training would look like for you, as far as like disc and then especially shot too.
Yeah.
What does like a week of training look like? Is it just lifting a ton of weights? Is it technique? Is it throwing all the time? Like for a runner, you're not going out and running a race every single day trying
Mhm.
to do that. You're doing different kind of training. Talk to me about what like the throwing side of practice looks like.
Yeah, so definitely. So I'll go through like an in-season practice. So normally for my school, we'll have a meet on a Tuesday and a Friday. So like this is like in season. Monday, typically I'll do like a pre-meet. So I'll do some disc and I'll do some shot. I Towards the end of the season, you kind of pull back just so you can keep the body fresher. But during the season, I mean, you do a pretty big disc practice, pretty big shot practice, just getting ready for both. And then you have the meet Tuesday. Typically Wednesday we'll lift. We don't in the season, it's not like we can't lift as much because we don't have as much time, but I do lift. I'll lift on Wednesdays and then on Saturdays. But then Thursday, we'll have another pre-meet day where we do shot and disc. We might pull that off just a little lighter if it's an invitational Friday. But then we'll have that meet Friday. Normally Sunday, I have a trainer that I go to in Lindsay, Ohio. He's really good. I train with him for about 3 hours on Sunday, and then we're just back into it on Monday.
Gotcha. So when you're training with him on Sunday, like is that like a like you're just working on technique, you're working on strength, you're working on what are you working on when you guys are when you're training?
Yeah, so he has us go through multiple different things. We do a lot of footwork stuff, so it's really just a straight throws fit a focus. So it's a lot of technique, it's a lot of drilling, throwing some different implements. Sometimes we go heavier, sometimes you go lighter, just depending on what you need. He has so many tools there, so it's just really working through that technical cue that you need to get to, and it's just really great. I mean, he has some great throwers that go out there. Just training with them even pushes you to be even better.
What are some goals that you have for next season? Obviously, you're following it up with a state championship. So obviously the goal would then to go back to back would be right there. But what are some goals that you have?
Yeah, so I definitely want to do that. I still want to. Our conference record is still there. I kind of had a little rough of a meet this year, so I still that's something that I want to break next year. It's 178. But I mean, the state record is kind of in mind too. James Conrad, he's coming back. He's another great discus thrower. He threw 209 last year, so he's a great thrower. But yeah, I mean, that's the goal. And I just want to continue to push the mark out. I mean, 215 would be amazing, but I also want to. I'm putting some more effort into shot put this year, so I want to. My dad's got the record at 56, so I definitely want to go over that and see if I can get a spot on the podium at state after having a little rough state shot put competition this
Mhm.
year.
Have you started to think about what you would like to do after this? Going on to college, going into recruiting, things like that. Have you started looking into things like that yet?
Yeah, so I definitely am wanting to go to college. I mean, I'm still in the search for sure. But yeah, I've talked to some schools. I've got some visits coming in the fall, so I'm really excited to get that started. But yeah, I definitely am going to keep throwing after high school.
Awesome. What's that process look like when you're going through and you're talking to college coaches or you're setting up visits and things like that? Like what is that process like for you?
Yeah, so June 15th opened. It opened up for 2028. So I reached out probably I would say like a week before to a lot of coaches. And a lot got back to me after, and we set up some phone calls and we talked through things about their schools, things about me, what I want to do. And then you kind of just continue to build that relationship, continue to send them videos of how practice went, how your lifts went. And then yeah, we kind of just talked about getting on campus in the fall just to see what it would be like. And because I kind of gave them a timeline like that I was kind of wanting to do some visits maybe this fall and then narrow that list of schools down here after next track season, and then I have about 3, 4, 5 schools so I can really decide between those. But yeah, it's been great. It's been a lot of fun. So I'm really excited for this fall.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Talk to me about some of your teammates at Allen East. Talk to me about people who you're working with every day. What is it like working with them and how does that make you better every day?
Yeah, so this year was definitely a big year for the Island East track program. I mean, we were the regional runners up, and then we placed seventh at state with I think 5 guys. So we're gonna be returning some good runners. We have Don Burkett, he's a hurdler, and then some of them guys that were on the relay team that placed high at state are gonna be coming back. So hopefully we can continue to build that relay team up. We have a pole vaulter, Stephen Emmerich, who's really good. We had a tough district this year that he didn't make it out of, but if he did, he would have made it far. So we're looking to build for next year, but that just pushes you. I mean, you see other guys that are working hard that want to get to the same goal that you do. And then for the throws coach, we have a really good coach. He pushes you to be better. He was a decathlete at Finley, so he kind of just knows what it's like to compete at a high level. And I think that really helps me honestly. Is just him being able just to help in any situation that you need to, whether it's throwing or just life in general.
If you were talking to a seventh or eighth grader who is getting into throwing, they go out for track the first time and they don't know what they're doing. They go and they try throwing and they're like, "Ooh, I kind of like this thing." What advice would you give to someone who is a young thrower on what they should work on and what they should do?
Yeah, so definitely the first thing I would say is if the first day isn't good, you can't stop. Throwing is it's something that you have to get literally every single movement right to be good at. So just because it doesn't go far on the first day doesn't mean you can't be good. I would say you just have to continue to put reps in. That's what throwing is. It's a game of reps. Who can put in the most reps and just continue to get their body to do the same movements every single time. Lots of drilling. Throwing isn't everything, honestly. You got to have speed, you got to have footwork. So it's not all just get in the ring and throw a disc or throw a shot. You got to put that down and just really step in and work on some footwork and technique. But yeah, just have fun with it because throwing is something that you do a lot and you get so down on yourself, but you got to have fun with that at the same time because it's something that can be fun. Have fun with other people you're throwing against too.
When you look at the things that you've accomplished so far, sometimes it gets harder to kind of dream what could be bigger than that. What could be bigger than like that feeling of winning a state championship? Besides all the championships, besides things like that, what do you want people to know about Jackson Werling? Like what do you want people to know about who you are?
Yeah, so I'm a hard worker and I'm gonna put in effort for anything. But I'm always here to help. Like I help out some young kids that are in the area. Like I'm here to help if people need like throwing. Like I'm not someone that's just gonna keep it to myself. Like I don't like if people text me like ask for help on their technique. Like I'm not just gonna ignore them. Like I'm gonna help them. I no, I want to see throwing expand because it's kind of smaller now. So I want to see the throwing world kind of expand. But I do care. I care about the sport. So yeah, I definitely put a lot of time into it, but I'm not just stuck to keeping it to myself. Like I want to help other people as well.
One thing that I think is interesting about you is you kind of mentioned it earlier. You said you're kind of a smaller guy compared to some of the guys that you're going out throwing against. These are some bigger guys having a lot
Definitely.
more weight than you.
Mhm.
How do you kind of balance that? And like, does that mean, do you think other people your size could get into throwing? And is that somewhere you see the game kind of expanding?
Yeah, definitely. So if you look at the top end kind of the discus world, it's not as much those smaller guys, but it's more of the taller guys that have some length. We'll also have some muscle. So I would say definitely, like, don't be afraid to try it because you don't have to be big to throw it all. You don't have to be too strong. Like for discus, you just have to have some long arms. You got to get the technique right. And then once you get that, you can start to build the strength get it to go farther. But like, no, I would not shut throwing down just because you're a taller, skinnier dude. I mean, that's definitely where some of the best discus throwers are. I mean, the guy that has the world record he's pretty tall and he's just muscular. Like he's not small or anything. So yeah, I would say definitely don't shut that down. Just work at it.
What is one technical area of discus that you want to get better at that you think right now in your game that you need to get better at?
Yeah, so definitely it's kind of with the orbit, I would say, is I'm trying to get my high point. So that's where out of the back of the discus, like, so I'm trying to, there's sector lines. So I'm trying to get that my right arm to be high when it gets to that right sector line. Just continue to stay high throughout and then just getting long on that finish. I kind of have been cutting my finish off the past 2 years. So just really getting out and long and being able to extend and just really using my legs into the throw. But obviously, this offseason, building some strength because that's definitely my weakness right now in throwing. Just definitely building some strength because that's going to help with everything. But I just got to maintain the flexibility that I have because that's a big strength that I have.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Last question that I have for you today. When your high school career is finished, what do you want people to remember about Jackson Werling?
Yeah. So the work you got to put work in. I'm there a lot. I'm at the school a lot. If you want to be good, definitely put the work in and don't be afraid just to go out on your own and do something and work hard by yourself. Be a hard worker. Have fun while you're doing it though. I mean, something that I kind of take like pride in is like when I'm at the meets, like I'm not trying to ignore people, like the people I compete with, like I want to be friends with them, like I want to talk to them. Like, if you get some of the bigger meets, like people kind of just like don't talk to you because they think they're all better than you. But I mean, just have fun. Like I'm here there to have fun and compete, but you got to get better at the same time. And you got to put in work. It's not something that you can just do for 3 months of the season. It's the whole year if you really want to be good at it. So yeah, just really put in. I'm someone that's going to put in the work, but care for people too at the same time.
Okay. Well, I thank you, Jackson, for coming on today with Beyond the Podium, episode 3. I wish you so much luck this next season. Good luck in the football season. And then again for track. I can't wait to see you throw again.
Thank you.